All right, let's dive right into one of the biggest matches of the season, the Manchester Derby. We've got a ton to unpack here. This one was a nail-biter, folks. Manchester United, now led by their new manager, Ruben Amorim, going up against Manchester City.
And this is even more interesting because Amorim, he actually just beat Man City with his previous team, Sporting Lisbon, right before he came to United.
So the big question is, can he pull off another upset against Guardiola's, well, a City team that's been struggling lately?
They've been under a lot of pressure, that's for sure. They had lost, let me see, 8 out of their last 11 matches coming into this one, and that's Guardiola's worst run like ever as a manager.
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of that, they were dealing with a ton of injuries, especially in defense. It was so bad they had to play Matthias Nunes, who's a midfielder,
Yeah.
at left back.
Not ideal.
So you can only imagine the tension going into this match. City fans probably on the edge of their seats wondering, is this just a rough patch or are there bigger problems?
Right.
And United fans, I'm sure, cautiously optimistic, hoping Amorim could pull off another miracle against, well, a vulnerable opponent. But before we get into all the action, there was a lot of talk about Amorim's starting lineup.
Yeah.
He decided to bench some big names, Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho.
Yeah.
Now, why would he make such a bold move? Especially in a game as big as this.
Well, it's a high risk, high reward kind of thing. By benching those star wingers, Amorim was sending a message, a more defensive approach, potentially trying to take advantage of City's, well, that weaker defense on the counter.
Right.
But it's a gamble. You're leaving your most dangerous attackers on the bench.
Yeah, a bold move for sure. So the stage was set. It was time for a tactical battle. The first half was a really tense affair. Both teams playing cautiously, not a lot of clear chances, but you could just feel the intensity building with every tackle and every pass.
It was a chess match. Both managers just trying to outsmart each other. City, well, even though they'd been struggling, they still dominated possession, as they usually do. But United, they were very disciplined, pressing high, disrupting City's flow. City couldn't get into that free-flowing attacking style they usually play.
Yeah. So then, in the 35th minute, a corner kick for City, and they score.
Yeah.
A classic set-piece goal. John Stones just rising above everyone else to head it in.
That's exactly where United have been struggling all season long, defending set pieces. They just haven't been able to clear their lines consistently, which makes them vulnerable to, well, those aerial threats.
So at this point, it felt like the same old story for United fans. Was this going to be another match where those defensive struggles would cost them? But, this is a derby. Anything can happen. And this match was about to get even more heated.
That goal, it really seemed to wake both teams up. Just a few minutes later, there was this clash between Rasmus Højlund, he plays for United, and Kyle Walker from City. And you could really see, how much this match meant to them. It started with a foul, but then escalated quickly. They got right in each other's faces, shouting, the whole thing.
Yeah. Højlund was lucky to just get a yellow card for that one. But, the whole incident just showed how high the stakes were in this game. It was way more than just 3 points. It was pride, bragging rights, that whole rivalry between these two clubs, these two Manchester clubs.
Oh, absolutely. And as we went into the second half, you could see City, they were starting to feel the heat. They had a couple of early chances, but their passing was off. They didn't have that usual fluidity.
Yeah.
And United, they just kept pressing high, disrupting City's buildup.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch Amorim's tactics play out. Even without those star players, Rashford and Garnacho, United were still so dangerous on the counter. They used that pace, that directness, to really exploit the gaps in City's defense, especially on that left side where Nunes was filling in. He's a midfielder, not a defender.
That's what's so interesting. Amorim, he clearly targeted that left back spot. He knew Nunes wouldn't be as strong defensively. And, well, that decision ended up being the key to the match.
Oh, yeah. In the 88th minute, Nunes, under all that pressure from United's attack, makes a critical mistake. Tries to play a back pass to Ederson, but it's under hit, and Amad Diallo intercepts it. Diallo, he's known for that speed and those dribbling skills, so now he's through on goal.
Just goes to show how one mistake can change a whole match, especially in a big game like this, a derby. And for Nunes, well, it's a tough lesson to learn. At the top level, football can be pretty unforgiving.
So Diallo's racing towards goal. Ederson comes out, and Nunes, trying to make up for that mistake, brings Diallo down. Penalty to Manchester United. You could feel the tension in the stadium, right?
It was one of those moments where anything could happen. Fernandes misses that penalty. It could deflate United, give City another chance. But, well, Fernandes, as he usually does, steps up, stays calm, slots the ball right past Ederson. 88th minute, we're tied 1-1.
And suddenly everything's changed. United, they're fired up after that goal. They're pushing hard for a winner. And then, in the 90th minute, it happens.
It's a long pass from Lisandro Martinez, finds Diallo. He'd made this really smart run behind City's defense. He just takes one touch to get past Ederson, and then from a tight angle puts it in the back of the net. What a finish for the young Ivorian.
Unbelievable. The whole stadium goes crazy. United fans are going wild. City, they can't believe it. Diallo, who came on as a substitute in the second half, he's the hero.
It just shows how good Amorim is tactically. He brought on Diallo specifically to exploit that weakness on City's left, and, well, it worked perfectly. Diallo's pace, his dribbling, his composure in front of goal, you saw it all in those last few minutes.
And for United, this win was more than just 3 points. It was a statement. They can compete with the best, even when they're not at their strongest. And Amorim, he's brought a new energy, a new style of play to the club.
It was a masterclass, tactically, from Amorim. He completely outfoxed Guardiola, found City's weaknesses, and he used what he had to the fullest. And for City, this loss, it raises some serious questions. I mean, this isn't just a loss. It's their 9th in 12 games. Is it just a bad run, or is there something bigger going on?
The pressure on Guardiola is definitely building. This is something he's never dealt with before. He's used to winning, to dominating. But this season is just not happening. They lost important players. The defense has been shaky. The attack isn't as strong as it used to be.
It's going to be interesting to see how Guardiola handles this. He's known for changing tactics, adapting to situations, but, this might be the biggest challenge he's ever faced as a manager. Can he turn it around? Can he get City back to that dominant form?
This whole match, it's like a snapshot of the Premier League this season. So much drama, so many surprises. You just never know what's going to happen. It shows that even in a league where a few big clubs usually rule, anything is possible. Any team can beat any other team.
It reminds us that in football, sometimes it comes down to small moments. A player shines, a team comes together, and you can overcome the odds, You just need that belief.
It's been a wild ride, that's for sure. So much drama, tactical brilliance, mistakes, some amazing moments, and a comeback that, well, I don't think anyone saw coming.
Really showed the different stories going on with these two clubs right now. I mean, you've got Manchester United looking like a brand new team with Amorim at the helm, playing with so much energy. They're organized tactically. Reminds me of those Sporting Lisbon teams he had, the ones that won trophies.
Yeah. And then you've got City, who, let's be honest, they've been on top for so long. But now they're dealing with this slump, something we haven't seen from Guardiola before. It's like the Premier League needed a shakeup or something, just to keep things interesting.
And that's what makes it all so exciting, right? This match, this whole season, it's not just about who wins or loses. It's those bigger questions that come up. Is this like a new beginning for Manchester United? Are things changing at the top of the league?
Questions that we're going to be asking all season long. And we'll be here to break it all down for you every step of the way. But before we go, I wanted to talk about one more thing that really stood out in this match. Amad Diallo.
Oh, yeah. He was a revelation. I mean, not only did he get that winning goal, but he also won the penalty. Every time he touched the ball, he was causing problems for City's defense.
He was so fast, great dribbling. And when he was in front of goal, so calm. This match, it could be huge for his career. It might be the moment everyone realized, hey, this kid is a star.
And it shows you how much Amorim believes in those young players. He wasn't afraid to put Diallo in a game like this, a high-pressure derby. And, well, that risk paid off big time.
Exactly. It just goes to show, even when you've got these big rivalries, these tactical battles, sometimes it comes down to one player, someone who can do something special, something brilliant, and changes the game, maybe even the whole season.
This derby, it was a reminder. Football, it's always changing. Teams get better, teams get worse. New players become stars, managers, they always have to adapt, come up with new ideas.
So to all of you listening, keep your eyes on these two Manchester clubs and on young players like Amad Diallo. This season is just getting started, and trust me, there's going to be a lot more drama.
We learned one thing for sure. In football, the only thing you can be sure of is that nothing is certain.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into an amazing Manchester derby. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of sports.